Namaskar. Welcome you all to the session on disaster risk reduction strategy. In short, we can call it DRR strategy. In fact, this is in continuation with the last session, which was part 1 on the same topic. The focus of today's session is on DRR strategies, specifically on non-structural measures. While structural measures involve physical interventions like buildings and infrastructure, non-structural measures focus on policies, awareness and community driven actions to reduce disaster risk, which we have already discussed during the last session part 1. Now, let us discuss about what are the non-structural measures. Non-structural measures are strategies and policies that reduce disaster risk without physical construction. For example, early warning system, public awareness campaigns, sensitization and land use planning. What is the importance of this? They complement structural measures by addressing root cause of vulnerabilities and enhance preparedness. The focus is on empowering communities, strengthen policies and use technology to build resilience. What role does it play? Number 1, reducing vulnerabilities. It addresses socio-economic, cultural and institutional factors contributing to risks. Second is cost effectiveness. It requires lower capital investment compared to structural solutions, but offer long term benefits. And number 3 is integration with structural measures. When combined with structural measures, they provide a holistic disaster risk management strategy. Now, let us discuss the early warning system EWS and its role in risk reduction. EWS provides timely information to prevent loss of life and minimize damages. Key components of this are: number 1, hazard detection. Use sensors and satellite monitoring to identify the risk. Number 2 is the communication channel. Disseminate warnings through SMS, radio, social media. And number 3, the community response. It trains the community to act swiftly on the alerts. For example, India's cyclone warning system and Japan's earthquake early warning system are one of the best in the world. Next is risk assessment and hazard mapping. Its purpose is to identify high risk areas to guide planning and interventions. Various tools and techniques are used, and they are: number 1, GIS and remote sensing, which creates detailed maps of hazard prone zones. Number 2, historical data analysis, use past disaster trends to predict the future risk. And number 3 is vulnerability assessments, identify at risk populations and infrastructure. What are the applications? It informs land use planning, insurance models and evacuation plans. Now, next non-structural measure is public awareness and education. The objective is to educate communities about disaster risk and response measures. Various methods are being used for this. Number 1 is campaigns. It uses TV, social media and community events to spread awareness. Number 2 is the social programs. Integrate disaster education into curricula. Drills and simulations. Conduct regular mock drills to practice evacuation and safety measures. And how it impacts the community? It empowers individuals to act responsibly during disasters. Now, coming to community based disaster risk management. This is also one of the non-structural measures, but it is having a very high impact. It involves communities in planning and implementation DRR measures. The key features are: number 1 is the local knowledge, leverage community insights for effective planning. Number 2 is participation. It involves all stakeholders including women and marginalized groups. And number 3 is training, build local capacities for risk identification and response. Now, let us talk about policy and legal framework, which is also acting as another form of non-structural measures. It provides institutional support at all levels for implementation of DRR strategies. The key elements under this are: number 1 is the national policies, develop DRR focused on policies like India's Disaster Management Act, zoning laws, restrict development in the hazard prone areas and international framework aligning with the global agreements like Sendai framework and IPCC framework. The outcome of this is strengthening governance and ensuring the accountability. Next non-structural measure is land use planning and management. The purpose of this is to reduce exposure by managing land use in hazard prone areas. The strategies used are zoning regulations. You have to define safe zones for construction and farming. Relocation plans move communities from high risk zone to safer locations. And the third is sustainable development, integrating DRR into urban planning and infrastructural development, building resilience in the system. So now next coming to sustainable ecosystem management, another non-structural measures. The objective is to use ecosystem to mitigate disaster impacts. How it can be done? Number one is the reforestation. It stabilizes slopes and reduces landslide risk. Number two is the wetland conservation. It absorbs flood water and acts as natural barriers. Number three is the mangroves, protect coastlines from storms and cyclone surges. What are the benefits? The benefits coming out of this are it providing cost effective sustainable solution while supporting biodiversity. Next one is capacity building and training. It is also one of the non-structural measures, and the focus is on equipping individuals and institutions with the skills for DRR. The activities involved are training programs, conduct workshops for government officials and first responders, knowledge sharing, exchange best practices across regions and sectors. Next one is certification courses, offer specialized courses in DRR and emergency management. The impact it is creating, it builds a skilled workforce for disaster preparedness and recovery. Next one is financial mechanism for DRR. The purpose is to ensure adequate funding for non-structural measures. The mechanisms are number one, insurance scheme. It promotes disaster insurance for vulnerable communities. Number two, risk pools, share financial risk across regions and sectors. Number three, incentive, provide subsidies for adopting DRR measures like rainwater harvesting. Examples, parametric insurance scheme as being floated in Caribbean region. Now let us move on to disaster response planning. Objective is to establish protocols for immediate and effective response. Key components are incident command system, define roles and responsibilities during emergencies. Second is resource allocation, pre-position relief supplies and equipment. Number three is communication plans, ensure seamless coordination among the agencies. And what is the outcome of this? It reduces chaos and it ensures faster recovery during disasters. Next measure is health and safety measures. The focus is to protect public health during and after disasters. What strategies we are following? Emergency medical services, train personal and stockpile medicines, disease prevention, implement sanitation and vaccination drives in disaster zones, mental health support, provide counseling for trauma affected individuals. Example, post tsunami health camps in Indonesia. Now let us move on to next point, technology for DRR. Role is to enhance prediction, monitoring and response capabilities. There are various applications of this. Number one is AI and machine learning, analyze patterns for better risk predictions. Second is drone. Drone conduct aerial surveys and deliver relief supplies. And number third is mobile apps, disseminate real time alerts and safety tips. Next, coming to media. What is the role of media in DRR? The importance is to disseminate information and raise awareness. Responsibility is timely reporting, provide accurate update during disasters. Then campaigns, promote disaster preparedness through public service announcements. Fact checking, combat misinformation to avoid panic. And impact what it is creating? Create informed and resilient communities. Next one is gender and social inclusion in DRR. Objective of this is to ensure equal participation and protection for all groups. The strategies what we are following: number one, women led initiatives, promote leadership and their role in disaster planning. Second is accessible plans, design inclusive evacuation routes for the elderly and the disabled. Third is livelihood support, provide skill building programs for marginalized class of people post disaster. Examples: women's disaster response teams in Bangladesh. Next one is international cooperation. The focus of this cooperation is to leverage global partnership for disaster risk reduction, DRR. The mechanism what they are following: number one is the knowledge sharing, exchange best practices and insights through international forums, joint research and expert panels. Funding support, secure financial and from international organizations, developmental banks and philanthropic institutions to implement DRR initiatives. Joint exercises, conduct cross border disaster drills and simulations to enhance preparedness and foster coordinated responses. Example is ASEAN's regional disaster response programs, which pool resources, expertise and technologies among member nations. Next is the monitoring and evaluation. The purpose of this is to ensure the effectiveness and efficiency of non-structural DRR measures. Approach what we are following? Number 1 is the key performance indicators KPIs. It define clear metrics such as reduction to fatalities, economic losses or response time to gauge success. A regular audit, schedule periodic reviews and assessments to measure progress, identify gaps and recommend improvements. And the third is feedback mechanism. Incorporate community insights and stakeholder feedback to refine strategies and encourage active participation. What the outcome of it? Ongoing refinement and continuous improvement in DRR planning. It leads to more robust preparedness and response system. Next is the knowledge management. The goal is to establish a centralized system to gather, store and disseminate DRR knowledge. What strategy they are following? Data responsibilities. Collect and maintain detailed records of the past disaster events, responses and lessons learned from each references. Number 2 is research collaboration. Partner with universities and research institutions to foster innovation and develop advanced DRR pools. And the third is community platforms enable local communities to share experiences, best practices and success stories on a global scale. Example is UNDRR's prevention web platform, which serves as a global hub for DRR information exchange. And next one is building resilient communities. What is the objective? Communities are capable of anticipating, adapting to and quickly responding and recovering from disasters. The pillars of it are: number 1 is awareness. Provide ongoing education about disaster risk, safety protocols and early warning system. The resources are: ensure essential services, emergency supplies and robust infrastructure are available where needed. Networks, develop a strong partnership at local, national and international level for timely support and knowledge exchange. The outcome of it is empowered populations that can respond effectively to crisis, reducing vulnerability and long term impacts. The success stories in non-structural measures. Let us discuss some of the case studies which are the success stories. Number 1 is Japan. Frequent earthquake drills, strict building codes and widespread public awareness campaigns has reduced the fatalities, loss of life and livelihood in Japan. Bangladesh, community cyclone shelters, robust early warning and strong local engagement has reduced the fatalities. Number 3, in Kerala, India, grassroots flood preparedness involving local volunteers, resource mobilization and proactive planning has ensured effective response and relief operations and early recovery from disasters. These examples illustrate how well designed, well executed non-structural measures can save lives, protect livelihoods and build lasting resilience. But still there are some challenges ahead before the non-structural measures. What are the challenges? The key issues out of that are: number 1 is the funding gaps, limited financial resource for large scale or long term DRR programs. Number 2 is awareness levels. Communities may lack understanding of disaster risk and preventive steps. Number 3 is policy gaps, weak enforcement or absence of comprehensive DRR policies and frameworks. What are the solutions? Strengthen collaboration among the governments, private sector and NGOs to address these challenges through innovative solutions. Sustain financing and education campaigns. What are the way forward non-structural measures? Under priority section, number 1 is strengthen policies and legal framework, ensure enforceable regulations and clear responsibility for all the stakeholders, expand public private partnership, invest in technology and capacity building. Next, promote inclusive community led approaches. And what is the vision? Establish sustainable disaster resilience through community innovations. And the summary out of it is, before we end it over here, let us go through it, what we have learned so now. Number 1, we have reviewed the importance of non-structural measures in DRR, explored strategies including early warning system, community engagement and policy frameworks. We have highlighted success stories and challenges, discussed actionable steps for way forward. And the closing note before we end it over here, building resilience requires collective effort and a focus on innovation, inclusion and sustainability. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Meet you next.